What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today we're looking at the Anything box by Conan Liu, Royce Luo, and TCC Presents. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. Please consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment on any questions that you have about the product I'm reviewing or anything you'd like to see in the future. Let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to click that notification bell so you don't miss a video or a review. Don't forget to head over to Facebook and join the Chris Edwards Magic Secret Access group. In there, I will be posting direct links to unlisted videos that can't be found visibly on the channel or through a YouTube search or any search engine for that matter. What's going to happen with the unlisted videos is, for example, with certain wallets that don't give you a lot of information in the ad copy or in the trailer or even in the description, I'm going to show you guys where the peaks are, how they work, things like that. So it's borderline exposure in the sense that I don't want to present these publicly to lay people, but I think that if you are here, then you're likely a magician or a mentalist. There are some questions to answer to get into the group. So basically, if we know each other or we have mutual friends, certain groups in common, then it's going to be no problem. You're going to get in. But check that out because there will be a lot of unlisted videos that I think will be worth seeing. The Anything box is a modern, elegant, professional take on the classic drawer box illusion that many of you are well aware of, whether it was a part of your first magic kit, being one of the cheap plastic versions, or you have a larger version of this. I think that this version is a very, very well put together and nice looking version of the drawer box. The reason they call this the Anything box is because you can produce anything that fits inside of it. So at first you show the box empty, and then you can produce a deck of cards, a handful of coins, elastic bands, candy, whatever. The sky's the limit. The quality on this is extremely high. It's very well made. You can see the inside and then the outside of the box. There's a nice brass knob or handle, whatever. There's also a locking mechanism so that it doesn't come out prematurely, but with some force you can have it open as you want to. You have control over it. Overall quality, it looks great. It looks like something that a professional would use. What you get, so the packaging, again, hard shell box. Inside is the tutorial along with a nice velvet carrying bag. And then, of course, you get your Anything box along with the tutorial link. The tutorial is good. There's really not a lot to it because there's not a lot to know, right? They go over the construction of the box, how it was made, talk a bit about it, the history, and then how to use it. Once you know how to use it, that's really all that there is to get into, because what you do with it is completely up to you. What you produce is completely up to you. So the tutorial is great. It's well shot, well mic'd, but obviously there isn't a ton to it because there's not a ton to know. Difficulty level, this is extremely easy to use. Anybody can use this immediately after learning the secret and how to use it. I'd say that the difficulty level is even better than other versions that are out there because of the added features such as the locking mechanism. So yeah, difficulty level, beginner. Angles, there really are no angle restrictions. I think when I was talking about the quality on this, I may have flashed something, but that's really your only angle restriction, is that you don't want them to see one specific area of the box. But even if they do see it, I don't think that that tips the method in any way to a layperson. And other drawer boxes out there work the same, just without the kind of upgrades that have been included with this one. So anybody who is familiar with the drawer box, magicians, mentalists, whatever, you already know how this works. But yeah, angles, there's about an inch of the entire box that you don't necessarily want to be seen. If it is seen, it's not a big deal, and it can very well be covered to show the entire box very freely. So, and then also when you show the box, like, there really is nothing to see. There are no arts and crafts. It's ready to use out of the box. Watch your tutorial, get the understanding on the handling and how it works. Reset is instant. Setup is all dependent on what you use it for. So you're just going to want to place whatever you want to produce in there before, and then you are able to show the box empty, do a magic gesture, and the box is full with whatever you choose to produce. So that's the only setup. Inspection or examination, I would not hand this out. It can be visually inspected very openly and freely, but you don't want them playing around with this because they can figure it out pretty easily. With the locking mechanism, it's less likely that anything is going to come open or move in a way to where it would expose anything, but still, I wouldn't hand this out. Again, you're not likely going to be using this in a situation where this would be examined. It's probably going to be part of a close-up or a parlor show. I've even used this in a stage show. Chances of it being examined are low to none anyway. Pocket space, don't really think this applies. You can carry this in a jacket pocket, maybe not a breast pocket, but like a side pocket on a blazer. I don't think you would. It's going to be bulky no matter what. I think this is more for obviously a close-up or parlor show, to where it's just going to be kind of out in the open, maybe have no attention drawn to it until the moment that you choose to use it. But as far as in a working environment, if you're strolling or anything like that, I think this is too big to carry around with you. It's definitely smaller than some of the other drawer boxes that I've used for stage shows, but it's bigger than your pocket version. So as far as pocket space goes, I'm going to say that you won't be carrying this in your pocket. Is this a worker? I would say this is designed to be a worker, right? As with the Vanishing Deck Pro and the Time Box, I think that this is obviously not meant to be a standalone effect, even though it could be. I think that this is meant to be used in more of a structured routine and just to be a part of a production into going into something else. With that said, I would definitely say it is a worker, because if you're just a hobbyist or a casual performer, you're probably just going to use the cheap version of this. Realistically, they do the same thing. This just looks a lot more professional and elegant. It's got a great design and it looks good. I think that you could take this to any working environment and it's not going to look out of place. Whereas if you're in a more formal setting and you pull out either a plastic drawer box or a flashy glittery one that I use for one of my stage shows with my kids shows, now that would look out of place. This, I think, regardless of what environment you're performing in, it looks good. I don't think I mentioned the price. So the price, and is it worth your money? This retails for $80. This is almost like part of a trio when I think of this and the Time Box and the Vanishing Deck Pro. They all came out together at the same time, and I use them all together in a specific routine that I perform. So $80, I know that is fairly pricey for something of this sort, but again, it's a more modern and professional take on a classic prop. The quality of it is there, and then I think the additional features and just being able to handle it so innocently and not worry about it opening up ahead of time, or I think that the thought and the quality and the time were put into this, as well as the materials, in order to justify the price on this. Positives and negatives. The positives is that it looks good. It can be used in any setting, any environment, and it's gonna fit right in. It works phenomenal. Everything is put together very well. There's a lot of detail, even down to the brass knob. Like it's just everything was thought out really well. And then the locking mechanism is a huge upgrade or bonus, whatever you want to call it. In my opinion, I really like that feature. Negatives, it might be too expensive for some. Some may not agree with the price. It isn't a cheap prop, but it's not meant to be. It's one of those quality props that if you want the quality, you're going to pay for it. If you want a cheap version, they're out there, but they look cheap. I think the price is justified. If you want a quality piece like this, then you have to expect to pay a higher price. That's everything I have on the anything box. Any questions, just leave me a comment. And with that, we'll see you at the next review.